Hi everybody, Jason Glaskey here. It's time for us to restart youth ministry here in the fall of 2020. And with COVID-19, we've got to change a few things, but we can still have a lot of fun together and do youth ministry together. I'm here to share with you some of the house rules for youth ministry at Immanuel Lutheran this fall. First of all, you're going to notice a few changes. We're going to have smaller groups. Since social distancing went into effect, we can only fit about 20 people in the youth building and space them out properly. So we're going to end up splitting our youth group in half and going back to the old days of high school nights and middle school nights for youth ministry for the time being. So keep your eyes open for which night is yours. You can use our Remind app to learn about what your night is, and I'll share more about that later. We're going to be outside a lot more. We can take our masks off a lot more when we're outside, and that's just going to be really useful for us. We're going to be doing a lot of our activities out there and eating our meals out there when it's nice enough to do so. We have to learn some new habits as well. We have to wash our hands and wear our masks and keep our distance from one another. But that's okay. You guys are used to that at school, so it shouldn't be too much of an adjustment. Let me show you this first screen, which is basically what we're trying to accomplish. We're going to have a temp check and sign in as you arrive. We're going to wear masks inside always, and anytime we're within 6 feet of another person while we're here on the property. We're going to hand wash and sanitize before we eat and drink. We're not going to self-serve our food and drinks. We're going to have somebody who's masked and gloved prepping our food and getting it where we can grab it and go with it. Just a lot like school lunches are this year. We're going to use lots of cleaning wipes on our surfaces, and we're going to expect you to do that too before you walk away from your table that you ate at. And we're going to do some social distancing on the couches, at the tables, in our groups, and things like that. So let me go through the steps just kind of one at a time with you. As you come into the youth building, you will see that there's a table there. And on the table, you got your masks and your hand sanitizer. You also see that there's a little temperature checking gun and the laptop, just like always. And there'll be somebody there as you come onto the property and into the youth building to check that temperature. If your temperature is above 100, that's not going to work. You'll have to go home. And you got to think through this. Are you feeling well? Have you had a fever? Have you been sick to your stomach? We will check you in and type you into the computer and check your temp. Make sure that everybody's safe and ready to go with being there today. Now, the one rule that we're going to keep is we're going to wear a mask inside. Whenever we're inside, we wear a mask, just as a rule of thumb. There will be times that you don't have to wear the mask inside, though, like when you're socially distanced and eating food and you're not able to be outside to eat. We'll do some really careful social distancing and eating and then put our masks back on, kind of a thing. You'll notice that the way we do the food, we're going to kind of pre-package the food a little bit so that you can just grab and go with that. We're not going to have everybody just serving themselves. And that's going to go for the soda refrigerator too. If you want something out of there, you'll have to ask somebody who's in the kitchen that week, who's gloved and masked, to get that for you. That's just going to be kind of a new habit we have to develop. We're going to spend a lot of time outside. Parking lot's going to be great. We're going to have trash can outside too, so that when you're finished eating outside, you'll have a place to go with your trash. That'll be just kind of the way we do it. We've got lots of benches out there, and sitting on the curb is not a terrible thing. Whenever we're doing that, we're going to emphasize this hand washing and sanitizing. We're going to have lots of soap and sanitizer around, and whenever you get up from a table or sit down at a table, you'll notice that there's Clorox wipes there, and we'll ask you to pull one out and to wipe your table down. really well. Get around the edges and the under parts. Even wipe down the surface of your chair and everywhere where your body has touched. Of course, close the lid so they don't dry up. That's going to be pretty good, pretty important for us to do. Another thing that I'm going to ask of you is whenever you're playing with the equipment inside and you're finished with that, I'd like you to wipe things down that human hands have been touching. So go on ahead and wipe that pool ball and pool cue. Wipe down those paddles and ping pong balls too. Just kind of make it safe for the next person who's coming into that space to use it. We're going to social distance carefully as we can inside. A lot of our tables, we're only going to be able to put 2 or 3 people at each table for eating meals if we have to eat inside. It's going to be impossible to social distance on the couches, but what we will do is we have marked off the middle cushion. We're not going to sit in the middle cushions. We're going to spread ourselves out the best we can and wear masks for Bible study time. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than nothing. So that's the way we're going to do that. You guys are going to want to get connected with the Remind app, and most of you are already signed up on it. If you're not, text to 81010 at Joplin Youth, and then you'll get a little text message back that says you're signed up. That'll give you these about weekly, twice a week messages from me telling you what's going on in youth ministry. That's how you'll know if it's your youth night or not, and what we're going to have to eat, and different news and information that you'll want to know. Another thing we're going to be using a lot more of is our phones, and not as much holding Bibles this year. So something I'd like for everybody to do, if you have a smartphone, is to get the Bible app. Now the Bible app is, you just go to the App Store and you type in Bible, and you'll see there that several Bible apps will come up, but there's one that's been downloaded 7.5 million times. That's the one you want. You see it there. Just download that one and make yourself an account, and we will be using that quite a bit together. So those are the youth ministry COVID-19 house rules. And we're excited that you're going to be able to come back to youth ministry at Immanuel on high school night, on middle school night. Well, welcome back. We'll be sharing the information on when our first youth night is going to be, and you can bring a friend, bring a mask, wash your hands, and we'll have a great time in God's Word together this year at Immanuel. God bless you guys.